6 o'clock in the morning. How's everybody doing? Had a 2-hour nap. I lied. I went to sleep and something just jumped out of me, and all of a sudden, I remember I had my book up against the light. My Hebrew book of letters up against the light. My Hebrew book of letters up against the light. My Hebrew book of letters up against the light. My Hebrew book of letters up against the light. My fingers have went right through the parchments. Now, is this one hell of a story? All I did was leave it next to the light. I lost 4 or 5 letters. But I'm going to get back to this in a minute. Freaked me out. This girl has on this thing that says mem key. And I remember the word key is a very special word. Because mem key means the same key. We can use it to get out. It's the same one you have in your head. But while you're on the earth, you got to live the reality. Key, in one word, is 41, the Mediterranean. And it is the key, because the Chinese already locked up the Baltic. This is something, I'm guessing, that this is something that's been going on for thousands and thousands of years, where the skies make these people into little soldiers, like little ants, and they shrink their minds into little ant bodies to think and do what little ants do. Are we part of the association, or are we really the light? The key says 41, but the letter count says 11525, which is 115, which is the voltage of your computer, and the 0.25 is the plug you put in. Because without the plug, you ain't getting any of the power. Everything counts. So mem key goes to 41. Now mem means to love. It also means the same thing. The M is a killer. Because when it means to love, how many relationships, 50-50, have been broken with that same word, I love you? How many forget about marriages? But how many boyfriends and girlfriends have said, I loved you, and it was bullshit to get into the bed? Those are all the main keys, the broken hearts. And you can never bring that back. There's more broken hearts than there are good hearts in this world. Because we didn't know how it works. When you go fishing or you think of a fish, because you're thinking of the fish is now communicating with you. That's the way it works. Mem is 13,513, which equals 65 high, 65 low, 130, which means 13 omega. Now, I'm not going to get into that game. So it equals to 26 plus 5 is 31. Herbert Hoover, the 31st president. The 13 later, because it is mem, then you go to the mem key, and I say mem as valued at 13 for the letter M. I say mem because after that they show the letter. I just wrote it out in my language. So now you got 3 13s. That means if there's 3 13s, you did 3 levels, we can go up to 1 level now. And all those 13s will go down to 7 and 6. When you say mem key, it's 44. Barack Obama. Take away 13 of the mem key, and you're down to Herbert Hoover. Key, in the word broken up in letters, 11, 5, and 25 for Y, because Y is the division between 2, makes half. Then you plug the rest of God's world and you got a whole, or this world and you got a whole. There's a loner part on you. So then I go to 11.125. 125 is 555, and again we're back to the 5th of May, bringing up all the beauty so far in this mem key. So we go 44. Now everybody knows 44 goes to 43, which is the Baltic. 44 goes to 45. Well, if we got the Baltic at one end, what the hell do we have? Oh, we'll go on with the numbers. We go on with the numbers and we find out, okay, that after calculating the numbers, that we total up to 11 41, where am I? I lost my place. I'm really sorry because there's so many things there's so many things to do with this. Because what it broke down to, where the hell is that? What it broke down to is, I wrote Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey, 157. 5 by 7 is 35. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 and 5 is 8, making creation 23. Then I decided to go and put 157 here. 157, 157. I put the 5 here. I didn't put the 1 in, but you can't see it, but it says 3. You see the 2 over here? 2P8. Do you remember in Star Wars? R2-D2? 2P8 is actually R2-D2 because I didn't cross the line. You have to cross the line on the bottom. When you put an X in the center, it means nothing's there. How do I know? Because in the 9th inning, when you don't go up the plate, they don't put a 0, they put an X because you weren't there. So when you put an X between your legs, it ain't there. And you ain't having no sex either. So that ain't there. But I made a slight error because what you should be doing actually what you should be doing is splitting it like this. Half open, half closed. When you turn it to the side, it looks like a 3. See the way it comes from here? Instead of going over here, it goes through now and back. This also says 25. I mean, I can throw you a lot of numbers, but this mem key, okay, 35 that I showed you, 35 that I showed you over here, that came by 7 times 5 is 35. Well, I don't remember where I got that from, but when you see this over here, this regards the 7 and 8 card and the land of the moons. This does not. It has 2 open corners. 35 one way, 53 the other way is 88. 2 times 44, the letter is H and H, Herbert Hoover, from the 31st president to 13 presidents later to 44, and the creation number from the other side is 35, or 1775. And that's now, because all our clocks are off, because Christ was born before the year 3760. So we're back 2 or 3 years. We're all off a couple of years. Who did it? I don't know why. And the question is, the mem key, the key, is Hoover Dam. The second key is O Canada and the Great Lakes and Niagara Falls. They need to control the water, so they need you out of the way. The galactic system is growing. Are we in it? Are we part of it? Or are we just going to be thrown in the garbage? From the signs of light that I have gotten since day one, it's hard to believe that it's true. But when your letters and parchments rise to the sky because you're trying to block out the light that they tell us is no good, and then she burns a hole through my book. Now, how do I return this? Let's see what pages. Whoever knows Jewish, let's see what page she started to burn on. Oh yeah, there's this. This is my buddy. This is my buddy. Put a little eye on him over here. He's got a little guy underneath here. Everybody's cool in the house. Anyways, let's go on to see. Oh yeah, this is another letter that I wanted to tell you. This letter here. Let me see if I can find it. What's a Bitcoin? There was something I wanted to find on here. There's a hey, vav, yod, memki. Everything's pointing to today. In the middle, it's a magic. There's a guy wearing a tallis like. And anyways, I'm going to go back. So it started here. It started on page 34, and it ended on page, it didn't, it burnt right to the back of the book. Halloween colors. They burnt the rest of the parchments out. What happened to my letter? Reish, Kuf. What's Reish going to do? Reish can't stand alone anyways. You all know that. Reish can't stand alone. Reish, okay, you want me to tell you something? That the Dalet, the Hey Dalet, is actually an R. That's the way I see this. I see this, that I see it right now. I can see it. I can see the parts of it. RR. Anyways, I'm not sure where I went with this. I have to find the video again. I'm not sure where we went with this. Other things to know. This is the roulette board and the dice. And one of the reasons you cannot bet the dice that has 4 around the sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, is because this is not a bet out here. If you make this bet, it pays 6 to 1. All these bets over here are 8 to 1, if I remember. 8 to 1, 8 to 1, 8 to 1. There's 6 by 8 is 48. This is the set. These are the barriers. You must have 6 numbers bet, which will bet you all of them. 6 chips bet you all of them. You get 12 numbers for 6. 1, 2, 6. LF 666. That's the roulette wheel. We're only talking of what games people play. That's the only place I go. Then we'd synopsis with a little history of the numbers. But for right now, the history is tired. Not that tired. Really not tired at all, but I'm tired. I know I'm tired. I must be tired. I have to be tired, and even if I'm not, I'm going to put my head down and go to sleep, because that's what it says in the rule books. So I'm going to do it. But before I do that, I'm going to go have a little breakfast. Standing up, of course, because I've been sitting down all night. I hope everybody is fine. The mystery is coming together. The signs are on the net. Take vision of what they post, and you shall see a difference. See what they did 10 years ago. See what they did today. It takes time to make a good cake. And the constellation of Pegasus, if that's true at all, there's got to be a good God. Otherwise, no one would be succeeding. The other thing I did find, listen to this, the Illuminatis. Think about it. Think about it. Sorority houses, the smart people who figured out to clone themselves and to come back. That's why Aldous Huxley got knocked off the same time as JF Kennedy. It's got to be still the Germans that are doing all this, but maybe it's not their run. And you know what? Maybe some of the Germans are not from here. Maybe they're not Germans at all. Maybe they're the real Jews, but they've taken the wrong side for the wrong reasons. Maybe the Germans are car builders and designers and artists. The other ones are vicious. You're a Jew, he's a Jew, we're a Jew. All of a sudden, I'm making everybody a reason to be a Jew. Because it's a wish. A Jew is a wish. It's a prayer. In French, they go, I croire. It means I wish. And I in French is je, and it says Jewish. It just means I'm one who wishes that I want to play in the game. What do you want to do? I want to play in the Jewish game. Why? Because there's gunfights and saloons. We can go all the way to the other end of Israel and pray on a wailing wall when there's no whales to be found around there. And anything that is a whale is in between the canals. And whatever is in between the canals is underneath the ground, because it's in your head and in your nuts. And the passage is the ship, which is your hips. Talking about your balls, my friends. Something about that sperm in your balls, I'm telling you, man. Something about interior control. Doesn't mean you can't have sex. It means there's a way to do it. Where when you do it, you spend so much time preparing, you know it's going to be good because you ain't wasting your time this time. Yet the smart Germans, Albert Einstein, possibly still alive. But Wasn't him. It was from the higher-ups. Gestapo. From another galaxy. Well, don't you know how it works? Everybody has their own little space. Okay? And what happens is God sent out a letter to everybody saying we're coming into the Christmas clause again, and who would like to participate? We're going to build a new moon. And the Germans come in, and the Russians come in, and a whole bunch of people, and they says, well, in this world, we're going to make something new. I have a new DNA strand. We're going to see how it works in this world. I brought it in from the last world of David and Jacob. But it's going to take a couple of hundred years before the gene goes through the process. 225 years, a complete process. Minus the first 25 because that's the start. You started before. You started 25 because God is right away part of that strand. So you have 200 left to go, and then you become a bicentennial man. The first child of the first 25 years, the second child, the third child, the fourth child, the fifth child, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth. 8 times 25 is 200. Bicentennial man. Herbert Hoover. Take the beaver out of the lake. We don't need Lake Mead anymore, because me add myself up in another world. Mem Key says now, because Barack Obama is changing from the 44th to the 45th. Mem Key is now, because I see the resh and the yod that's standing above it, and at the same time, these letters stand for 157. That's the design I showed you. They will create numbers and letters. I don't know what they are now. I went over them really quick. It says 2R8 or 2P8. 2P8 means 2. P is 16. So it's 2 by 16 is 32. And 8. 2, 3, and 8, I would say. But at the same time, I shouldn't say you have to work on it. So, what am I supposed to think? Are they coming after me, or I'm just fucked up and it's just another coincidence in my life, eh? You know what that means, eh? Now I play with it a little bit, I clean it out, I soften it up, and now I read it. How you doing there, guys? Would it be better that I read it this way? Ah, now I see the book. May he who is, and always be, and shall always be, as he could, as he tries, and he tries as he could, and he always is who he can be. He is the light. Raphael. This is the sound of the book, 7286.